Today I'm going to show you something a little different. Some people may have noticed this little red guy up here. I don't actually have a place for it yet, but this is my VFLI Vic. It's a mod that you can do to your Vic, and aside from the aesthetic, the red, and you'll see there's the keyboard, and there's a little yellow LED here instead of red. Aside from the look, there's some important differences from this Vic to this Vic. So I'm just going to quickly hook this up. First I have to unhook this. Okay, so the FLI graphics mode, and I'm sorry, I was going to look up what it stood for, and I can't seem to find it now. But it's a very fine graphics mode for the VIC-20. It's developed by Micheal Kircher. I hope I said his name right. Who, along with another Denial member, Tokra, were working on some extremely high-res graphic modes, playing mostly with the color to get lots of different colors, because that's the one drawback with the Vic chip, that the color is you're not able to get too many colors on the screen at the same time unless you're using interrupts. So, with a lot of patience and some crazy timing, Mike came up with a mod that would allow even more graphics on the screen. Now, what he did, and what was physically not possible before, is that the Vic chip only has access to a certain amount of memory at a time. At all. And basically what it can see has to be on board. It has to be on the Vic. It can't see expansion memory. So any high resolution graphics and your screen memory has to be on the memory that's inside the Vic. So, which on a regular VIC-20 is from 4096 to 8191. Or for those who do hex, I guess it's like 400 to be 400 to FFF, I believe. Anyway, and that's about 4K. So your screen memory is going to take up a certain amount of space, no matter what you do. For the regular screen, it's 506 bytes. Using double characters, you can use less, but of course, the idea here was to get the screen as close to the board, or like as close to the borders of your television or your monitor as possible. So, Mike came up with a plan. Most VIC-20s have the new, what they call CR cheaper build, have two 2K chips that you could piggyback another 2K chip, because most of the address lines are the same, and then just run a couple extra address lines from the logic circuits, and you would have an extra 4K for your graphics. Then another thing he did was for the color memory, he used a larger chip that you can use the sublines off the user port to bank select your color so that you could flip them really quickly, again using interrupts, and come up with some crazy colors that just were not possible before. So, this is my VFLI modded Vic, which I'll show you a quick little picture inside that I took earlier. Okay, so this is a regular VIC-20. Let me open it up. Side. I open it up, and inside there's all kinds of stuff, but I will direct your attention to this area where we have some RAM chips. These are also RAM chips. These RAM chips are the chips that provide the RAM, only RAM on the VIC-20. So some of that is used for the screen, some of that is used for the basic area, some of that is used for zero page. These three are used for color memory. Although it looks a lot different, it's just aesthetic. Obviously I painted the case, used the Commodore 64 keyboard, and when it's plugged in we have like a bright yellow LED. But aside from that, the difference is inside. I'll open this up. Now, oops. These RAM chips have been piggybacked, and these are missing, but this chip is quite a bit bigger. Now, these lines here are just to access the new RAM, and these lines are to access the new color RAM, which is in banks. So without further ado, I'm going to turn on the disk drive. What we got here? So unfortunately I only have one picture because the other pictures, Mike is over in Europe, which of course uses the PAL system, and I'm here in North America, which uses the NTSC system. So he had to do a fair amount of converting. The unfortunate part of VIC-20s is that the video between the two systems is not very compatible when you start going into interrupts and stuff like that. For example, trying to think now who did I believe it was the Denial member Vic Tragic who made Pitfall for the VIC-20, and unfortunately I can't play it because of the interrupt. So, no further ado, here we go. Poof. So the first thing you notice is that it has 3K available. Of course, this is minus screen memory. Or sorry, 6K available. So now the memory from 1024 all the way up to 8192 is populated. But the big difference is the Vic chip can actually read this. So, did I put that in there? I did, yeah. So aside from those couple of small things, this is actually the same and compatible with almost everything. The one thing that would make it not compatible are things that use the user port, like my second joystick, the 8-bit guy's SNES joystick, possibly, because I didn't look to see which pins are used, but I'm guessing they're probably the ones that are easiest to read. So, yeah, I don't know if all that stuff would be compatible. But anything else, just your regular typical game, and that's something I'll show in another video. It's just me playing a game. Okay, so Mike has made it very easy, as you can see. Oh, that's right. So it needs a little more than 6K for the image. My bad. So plug in the 8K here. There we go. Now the 3K is still there, but unfortunately, because BASIC needs the contiguous memory, it's put the screen at page 16, blocking off that 3K that's still in there. But Mike's program, I'm sure, is machine language, or at least mostly machine language. So yeah, it'll access that. And I should. There we go. Well, I don't recall it covering the screen, but it might. I can't recall. Look at that. Now that is not something you get with a stock VIC-20. I wish I had a few more other pictures to show. Unfortunately, Mike has some other pictures, but they only work for PAL machines. But this, to me, is absolutely incredible. If you look really closely, you can see that I'm not sure exactly how this color is broken up, but you can tell that there's different colors within the line, which is not possible on a regular, well, I shouldn't say on a regular thing, Vic, because Mike and Tokra did do that with a lot of their high-resolution graphic programs. But what's different, I do believe, is the size of the screen. Because now you have the memory to actually have the high-res graphics and the screen and the color all to run within the allotted memory. Yeah, this is absolutely amazing. So that is a VFLI modded Vic. I hope that we can do some more stuff with this, hopefully in the near-ish future. I know I plan on trying to do some things just to see, number one, how exactly it works, because I'm not entirely sure. I know I'm not as smart as these guys on denial. So have to figure it out first, and then see if we can do some other really cool things with the old VFLI Vic, modded Vic. Thanks to Mike Kircher for this mod. And yeah, if you need the instructions on how to make one, you can go to denial. You might have to search for the VFLI Vic, and I'm sure you'll come across it fairly quickly. Yeah, and check out the instructions. You can make one. If you have a few soldering skills, they're actually not that hard to make. Yeah.